Hi, my name is Paul Knapton. I am the Secretary of the Class 507 Preservation Society, and I'm here at New Brighton with my friend Robert.
That's right, my name's Robert Hampton. I'm the Chairman of the Class 507 Preservation Society. You may have seen our previous video that was featured on the Wirral channel a few months ago, and we're back with an update.
For those of us people that haven't seen the previous video, could you give a brief history of what a Class 507 train is?
Well, we're standing in front of Class 507 now. This behind us is 507-001, which is the very first train of that class built back in 1978. As you can see, it's been repainted back into its original blue and grey livery to commemorate 46 years of service on the MerseyRail network, because as a lot of the viewers here will be aware, the new Class 777 trains are coming in to replace them, and by the end of this year, probably by about the end of summer or around about then, these trains will be a thing of the past on the network.
Okay. And how long have you been travelling on one of these trains?
I remember them from pretty much when I was a little child. I always associated them in my head with, trips to the seaside or trips into town, shopping trips. It was always a treat to go on one of these, and it was just, I think, my lifelong rail enthusiasm started with these trains back in the day, and I'll be very sorry to see them go.
Okay. Is there anything particularly special about this particular train?
Yes, on the 25th of October 1978, this train actually served as a royal train. Queen Elizabeth II visited Liverpool, and among the duties she carried out that day, she did the official opening of the MerseyRail Underground network. She unveiled a plaque at Moorfield Station, and then she travelled on this train, 507-001, from Moorfield to Kirby. So this train really does have a very sort of special history on the Liverpool rail network and Merseyside.
And I think the thing about these trains as well is that, unlike lots of other trains on the national network, these have only ever served on Merseyside on both the Wirral and Northern lines.
Yes, that's right. They are in fact Liverpool's own trains. They've never worked anywhere other than in the Liverpool City region on the Northern and Wirral lines. So they're very special trains in terms of, they are our trains. They're the people's trains, if you like, because they belong in a way to us and our network.
Okay. So that's what the past is for these trains. What's the Society's plans for the future for this train?
Well, the train will be withdrawn from service later this year, as I've said. At the moment, we have plans in place to move it to the Thanet Valley Light Railway, which is a heritage railway line in Shropshire, just sort of near the Welsh border, and they have a sort of half-mile length of track that we can hopefully in the future maybe run it on as some sort of attraction for people to come and see the train and learn about the history of this train, how it fitted in with the MerseyRail network.
There's lots of other things as well at the Thanet Valley. It's probably not something they've heard of.
Yeah.
So I know it's just south of Llangollen. It takes about an hour for me to drive there from home. What other things have they got there other than what hopefully will be our train?
Well, they have various things. They have a narrow gauge line that they're building. They have lots of different pieces of rolling stock. One of the most interesting things that they have there is a monorail, a steam-powered monorail, which is a kind of mixture of sort of old industrial equipment that they've amassed over the years, and also they actually have some vehicles that were used in the filming of one of the James Bond films.
So there's all sorts of things to do.
Yeah.
Llangollen's always been joked about as the capital. Liverpool's the capital of North Wales, and Llangollen's sort of second city just down the road.
Yeah.
So the plan is that the train is going to still be near Merseyside, and people are going to be able to visit it.
Absolutely, and we hope that people will make the journey and come and see this train in its retirement years.
Okay. So that all sounds wonderful. But I think there's a but coming, isn't there?
Yes, the owners of the train, Angel Trains, who lease the 507 trains to MerseyRail, we've talked to them, and they're very happy for us to have the train, and they've said to the point of that they will give it to us for a nominal sum of £1, which is great, but we have to pay the costs of moving it, and moving these trains by road, which is what will need to happen, is
Doesn't sound cheap.
No, it's not, and we've been quoted in the region of £10,000 for it. So we've just launched our crowdfunder, which is to hopefully raise that money to pay for the cost of moving it by a specialist haulage firm. We launched it a couple of weeks ago. We've already nearly reached the £3,000 mark, which I think is really good.
So I did actually check on the way here, and I think at the moment we're on 2,900 and something.
Yeah.
So we are very tantalisingly
close to that 3,000 mark.
And of course, £3,000 would save one carriage, but we want to save all three.
All of them, yeah. Because we really would like to have a complete set, just for the fact that in the future you might be able to use it in some fashion as passenger carrying train again, which obviously you need the complete three-car set.
It wouldn't be complete without it. The look of everything. It's very much thing. What can people do to help?
Well, the crowdfunder is live now, as I said, and if you go to our website, which is class507.org.uk, there's a link on there, and you can donate or pledge to receive a reward. We have lots of different levels of reward available. You can get an exclusive badge which depicts this train as it is now in its heritage livery, or there's another option which I think is a really good one. It's the sponsor receipt. I know from experience of many years of commuting that a lot of people have like a favourite seat, one that sort of has the best view, or they think is the most comfortable, or even as simple as it's the one that's nearest to the exit door when you get off at your end station. And I think a really good way for people to commemorate these trains and remember them would be to sponsor a seat and actually have their name embroidered into the seat cushion as a kind of lasting tribute to all the years that they've commuted on these trains.
And which is your favourite seat?
My one was always the middle coach, second set of doors near the rear, and if you sat right at the back of the coach on a hot day, you got a nice breeze from all the open windows, which was so that was always my preferred seat.
So there's a plan to preserve the unit. There's a plan to move it to somewhere. What is the plan for the future to be able to happen with the unit?
So the plan, hopefully at the moment, is to have it on a sort of static display, but we are also looking at options in the future for having it run in some fashion. Obviously without the electric third rail it can't move on its own, but there are ways around that. We are looking into generators, or hauling it with a diesel locomotive, or even fitting batteries, because I think that is going to be something that is going to be really important to allow these trains to work and carry passengers and sort of do what they were always meant to do, which is to transport people and get them from A to B, even if it's on just a heritage line somewhere. I think that would be great.
The battery power thing is something I think I'm quite excited about, because where the Thanet Valley is that the train will be going to, there's lots of potential to generate green energy there. And if we could somehow fit some batteries, obviously that means there's no cost of building a new train, so it becomes, the carbon offsets become very low, and if people were able to travel on it, they'd be able to get the sounds and the of what it used to be like to travel on one of these in service.
Oh, absolutely. And I think a big part of why people are nostalgic for this train is the sounds that they make, the kind of the compressor noise, the noise that the motors make as it accelerates away from a station, and when it sort of slows down to come into a station, the sort of ticking noise
that's definitely one of my favourites. Even now, stood next to this, I can hear it just gently ticking.
Yes.
As the air release valves just release that little bit, and it's a sound that I always associate with MerseyRail, with waiting for a train here after a day out on the beach.
Yeah.
It's just waiting here, waiting for the train. There's always a train sat just ticking,
absolutely,
ready to go home after a day
absolutely.
out.
And I think that's something that we're keen to try and preserve for people if possible. If we can get her to actually run or even just make the noises when it's standing still, I think that would sort of trigger people's memories and nostalgia quite a bit.
So just before we finish, could you just remind us what people can do and where they can go to help support to preserve this Merseyside icon?
Well, again, our website is class507.org.uk, and the crowdfunder is on there. It's live until the 29th of June, so please do, if you feel able to, give generously. Any amount at all would be very, very welcome.
Robert, thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul.
I think that's it.